Staying warm by the screen side, ScreenSide. Hey, everybody.
Welcome to ScreenSide. We have a special event here. We have our friend Pat, who's gonna play Super Metroid. And not just normal Super Metroid, we're going for the No Saves Time Attack Challenge.
Yeah, so say hi, Pat.
Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you, Dan. It's my pleasure to be here with you tonight recording this game. I grew up with this game. I was in 5th grade when it came out. I thought it was pretty challenging for its time, having played the original Metroid for the regular Nintendo, and then having this installment on the Super here. This is the only way I play the game. I play the game once a year. I play it all the way through without saving. It takes about 2.5 hours to do. The goal for tonight is no saves, 90% of the items, 3 hours.
So we are dividing this into episodes, but we're going to make it so that we're going to try to put a timestamp on the actual footage. And if any of you, really want to see it between episodes, we'll release that. But we're going to try and just go out of one episode and into the next. So
Just as soon as we can, with very little layover or whatnot.
Yep. So go ahead and give it a start.
All right, ladies and gentlemen out there, you'll find that I take my game in a little bit more seriously than Steve and Dan do here, but hopefully that means that we'll have a little bit more of an opportunity to focus on the contents of the game. We'll have our usual banter as well, but you'll find maybe that the banter's coming mostly from Steve and Dan and not from me.
He's got to concentrate.
Yeah, and considering he's going to be going for the Time Attack Challenge, that's fine. And, the whole no saves thing, death is final. Or at least you gotta start over again.
So here she's telling us a little bit about the story of Metroid up to this point. Right now, this is the first game that she's telling us about as we see Mother Brain.
Ow!
Who continually returns even though we killed her.
Can you do the Mother Brain voice from Captain N, Steve?
I forget it.
Now she's telling us the story of Metroid 2: The Return of Samus, which is the Game Boy version of Metroid.
And which we're finally getting a remake of. Nintendo finally announced that, so I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, Metroid is apparently one of the more popular games. I've never played any of the Metroids, and I've watched some of Metroid Prime, which was much later, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm getting some of the backstory here.
Well, this is one of the original Nintendo first-party pieces of software, along with the Mario series, the Zelda series. Metroid was probably number 3.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right.
Along with some of the original adventure series that Nintendo had published back in the 1980s, along with Kid Icarus and... Actually, I think that might have been it. Just Zelda, Kid Icarus, Mario, and Metroid here.
But yeah, the graphics are absolutely stunning for this part. Really have a nice hand-drawn feel to it.
Yeah, and this was, during Super Nintendo's day?
94 was when this came out.
So for Super Nintendo?
Yes, Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and it's not bad for Super Nintendo graphics.
Well, this is a cutscene, so that gives it a bit of extra.
True, but even for cutscenes.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've seen, it might have just been people making cheaper games, but, just really cheap-looking 8-bit stuff.
Well, this was Nintendo first-party stuff, so they're going to go all in.
And they know the hardware well, because, they kind of designed it, and yeah.
Yeah, alright. Alright, so
we're in our space colony here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the space colony where Samus just dropped off the Metroid hatchling, and... the timeline of this game, apparently it's set immediately after the events of Metroid 2. Because as we saw in the opening sequence, Samus picks up the baby Metroid, she delivers it to the space colony, the scientists start studying it instantaneously,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden...
there's a distress call.
Ridley here shows up.
Uh-oh.
So, for your information, Dan, Ridley is a member of the space pirate gang that's run by Mother Brain and was one of the bosses in the original Metroid game. Samus Aran here, the main character, holds a personal vendetta against Ridley in her backstory, and as well as a personal vendetta against Mother Brain's particular gang of space pirates, as it was Ridley in the Metroid canon who destroyed the space colony where Samus was living as a child. So Ridley and her have a grudge going back years.
And of course, it's the first person you fight.
Yep.
Final boss time.
Now this is a triggered event here. Once you get below a certain threshold of life, the sequence ends, and now we got to get the hell out in about a minute.
Okay, so that you're not supposed to beat her there. It's
No.
just
No. Ridley survives for
Many times.
Yeah, because you fight. Is it her or him? I forget.
Him.
Okay.
Ridley is male.
Okay. So you fight him in Metroid 1. This is 3. You fight him in Prime. What else? Anything else? I want to say that there was another one in. Well, you would have fought him in Zero Mission, of course, which is the remake of 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say maybe in Fusion, but I might be wrong.
So
Fusion's a bit of a blur to me.
in the interest of full disclosure to our viewers, we are playing this on a ROM, which is why you're seeing Samus disappear.
Yeah, we wanted to play on the SNES. In fact, Pat brought his SNES with...
Original 1991 SNES, which is why I will not be buying an SNES Classic when it's released.
But when he got here, he's like, so, does your TV have a coaxial cable? I'm like, coaxial? That uses RCA, doesn't it? And he's like, no.
Oh.
And so... Pat has a rather tight schedule, and not wanting to postpone our recording again, I'm like, we're just gonna have to
trying
emulate
to get this together for months now.
Yeah, but I mean, we've purchased the game. I have it on my 3DS. Pat has it, so we've paid for this game, damn it, and so who cares if it's emulated?
Yeah, several times over.
Yeah.
This was perhaps the game I rented the most from Blockbuster Video, back when Blockbuster Video was like the thing to do.
Also, anything.
Yeah.
And it was either this one and Mega Man X were the ones I had rented the most from Blockbuster. And I eventually did buy the game off of eBay in the later 90s. I think I may have been in high school at the time. I forgot to configure the controller the way I like it.
Uh-oh.
Well, can't you do that from here?
No.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
This is Super Nintendo, not the GameCube.
Oh, yeah.
The N64. So, I hope everybody recognizes the scene that we're running through here. We are, in fact, now in Old Torian.
Ooh.
Which was from the first game.
Right. It was the original headquarters of the Space Pirates. And if you look at the map of Old Metroid, this is actually really accurate as to where the location of the original starting point of Metroid was, because look where we are. This is where you started in the original Metroid game, right underneath Mother Brain's lair.
Ooh.
And now, if you'll notice as well, the corridors that we just went through, everything was dead. It was all gray.
Yeah, and there were bugs like scrambling from everywhere, and
So now everything seems to have come alive.
Uh-oh.
So as far as our game timer goes, I think that this is when our game timer actually begins.
yeah, when you get the morph ball, yeah.
And everything starts up.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
We'll theoretically be able to tell you based on the recording
Ooh.
stuff.
So Steve and Dan, you will find that we're going to be dashing through a lot of the screens here, not really taking the time to look at our
Look and
surroundings.
appreciate. That's right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Because we are doing a time attack here.
Yeah, and I've seen you do it once before, and it was quite impressive. You're just not having luck today with that.
Nope.
It's all right.
I keep hitting B and I need to be hitting X. They're on literally opposite sides of the controller.
Don't. So what are those little eye things? I've been trying to figure that out.
They're just surveillance.
But they never activate again later. I mean, They only activate when you first enter these rooms and exit them, and then they never turn on again.
Well, that's why Mother Brain already knows you're here.
Yeah.
Not to spoil the ending for everybody, but no, we are fighting Mother Brain again. After all, we just fought Ridley. What's not to believe that, no, the final boss of this game is not Mother Brain?
I don't know.
Good point.
Ooh, those things turned to look at you.
Yep.
That was creepy.
And now we're going back up the elevator, back into Old Torian. And look, the lights have been turned on.
Ooh.
Somebody knows we're here, gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
Either that or somebody turned on the light switch.
So basically, kidnapping the Metroid was a ploy from Mother Brain to get you here.
Yeah, and because we killed all of her Metroids from the first game, she wants new ones. And because Samus went to SR388 and killed all the Metroids in Return of Samus, there's only one left, and she wants it.
What is a Metroid?
A Metroid is an alien organism that is capable of draining life force from its host. It's a parasite.
Okay.
An energy vampire.
Gotcha.
And Mother Brain had harvested an entire, I guess, herd of Metroids from planet SR388. The planet we're currently on is called Planet Zebes.
Zebes or Zebus. I've never been able to get which is the correct pronunciation.
But the enemies that we're killing now are just rank and file space pirates in Mother Brain's gang. So the area of the area of the world Planet Zebes that we're in right now is called Criteria. And it's an extension of Planet Zebes as it originally was. I can't get there yet.
Oh. And so the red doors are missile doors, right?
5 missiles opens them up.
Aha.
Nice.
And then once they're like that, they're unlocked forever. So.
Yep. So the enemies that we're fighting in this room, this here big one is called a Rio. Small ones are called Miros.
Where do we find the names out? Is it in the instruction guide? Or?
This is just something that I've remembered since 1985 and the original issue of Nintendo Power that I read at the time.
Oh, the issues.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo Power, I remember that.
All right, so here's
no internet, so...
Now here's the map room. This will show us what Criteria looks like.
Yeah, it just kind of downloads it into our memory bank.
Gotcha.
Because the original Metroid didn't have a map on it.
Oh, that's...
You had to actually hand write down, where you were...
Or draw it.
Or draw it, yeah, but that's what I mean.
It's gotta be very painful.
Well, and also the original Metroid didn't have a save system.
Yeah.
It had a password system instead.
Ooh. Oh, man, and the old school passwords were like 80 syllables long.
Oh, yeah.
Mixing in letters and numbers, and they didn't, take out O's, so you had to guess if it was an O or a 0.
Now these things...
Or a 1
here,
or a L.
These things that are crawling on the walls here are called zoomers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is a save point. We don't want this.
Do they zoom?
Yeah, we don't want to do that. That's the whole point of this episode.
Or at least of the challenge.
Well, yeah.
What the heck's that guy?
That's called a ripper.
Oh, that does not sound pleasant.
Alright, we are about to come up on our first mini-boss here.
Ooh, a mini-boss.
And those things along the ceiling are called screes.
Did they scree?
They screw as they get closer to the ground. You'll see that they have a bit of a corkscrew motion to them.
That was a lot of gnats.
The Miros, yes. Alright, so here's our first mini-boss. This is a Chozo statue.
Yay.
So the Chozo people, Dan, for your information, they are the people who rescued Samus from her space colony after Ridley had destroyed it, and then they raised her to be a warrior among them, and then they are actually the creators of her trademark power suit as well.
Wow.
You learn a lot more about Chozo lore in Prime, but they did leave a few challenges for Samus on Planet Zebes, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Talon 4, which is what Prime takes place on, is their homeworld, right?
Right.
Ooh.
Oh, crap. Oh, God. Oh, man. Not good.
Nope.
Oh.
Okay, good.
Phew.
That was kind of painful.
Yeah, I was actually kind of worried for you there.
And it's all because
your controls are backwards.
Controls ain't what I need them to be. But
Yeah.
that's my fault. I started the game too damn quick.
Well, let's continue this next time on
Yeah.
ScreenSide.
See you then.
Okay, bye.